we got some new toys.
And they're brand new to the market, new toys.
Welcome back. We got some fun new things we're playing with. So today, not a review at all, but Enlightened Equipment, they were cool enough. They sent us some quilts, a couple different versions of some of the new underquilts that they're releasing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like how often well, first of all, how often are like new styles of underquilts released in general?
And how often do people want to give them to us to check out? So we've got the Revolt V2 and the Uprising underquilt now. Andy's been using Enlightened Equipment underquilts and top quilts for the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
I've been using Enlightened Equipment top quilt for a long time.
We're obviously big fans.
We're big fans of Enlightened Equipment, so when they reached out and were like, hey, do you want to check out our new underquilts? We were like, absolutely. And they're pretty cool. So today's video, we're just gonna go first look, talk about some of the specs of the Revolt V2 underquilt and the Uprising underquilt from Enlightened Equipment. So both of these quilts are full length 20-degree quilts.
Yes.
And they both are, they're actually pretty different from each other. And also, EE has a kind of a new suspension system on their underquilts, different than the Revolt.
Well, different than the mainstream suspension systems you see.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Pretty similar and like similar concepts of like being able to adjust it in many different ways, but also a little different. So that's going to take some tweaking in the future to get that all figured out.
Yeah, so the Revolt V2, just high level, it's kind of like their full service, big size underquilt. A couple differences. One, they changed the baffle design.
Yeah.
They got with the program.
They got with the program, the horizontal baffles.
They changed the baffle design, and it appears like they stuff more down in it because of that baffle design. I don't know, so the Revolt V2 is heavier than the Revolt V1.
By a lot.
But you'd say it's warmer too?
It's bigger, it's thicker, and you know, I don't get in the Revolt V1 and immediately just start heating up like incredibly hot. So it's definitely, I'm feeling a lot warmer in it. I don't know if it's one of those things where people are trying to get their quilts a little bit overstocked to get to comfortability rating. So
it's definitely a little bit warmer. It's a little bit heavier than the V1. The next underquilt we got is called the Uprising underquilt, and it's actually pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
And the basically it's a minimalist underquilt. So most underquilts on the market now, like when you get in a hammock, I mean, they're wrapping way up on your sides, and they probably come up in some instances too high, especially for most situations, other than winter. And winter camping, you want that way up there. But what they did is, and I'll show you right now, I put the Uprising on top of the Revel, and basically they made it slimmer.
Yep. And
they contoured the shape of it, kind of like a hammock gear incubator type shape there. So the Uprising is kind of like a minimalist underquilt.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it, to like actually try that out, because like I'm a cold sleeper and I like to be encased in my capsule of down. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It still looks pretty warm, and it comes
warm.
in, so for a full-length 20-degree quilt,
with draft collars.
With draft collars, comes in at 18 ounces. That might be the lightest 20-degree underquilt I've seen.
And you have the option on the website, I believe, to get them with or without draft collars,
right,
for both the Revolt and the Uprising.
And that's a new thing for EE as well.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, well, since 2016.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so that's just a quick high-level comparison of those two underquilts. We're gonna get them on the hammock. We're gonna throw Andy in here, get some juicy B-roll, what they look like on the hammock. Let's check them out.
So first thoughts on the updated Revolts. One, baffle system is completely different than the Revolt, the version 1 Revolt that I have, which I think is good. It's more standard horizontal baffles, which you know, there's an argument to be made that they do a little bit better of holding the down in place. Two, the suspension system on this underquilt is kind of like, I've never seen a suspension system like that on maybe what is the foot end. The suspension actually comes away from the underquilt before the end of the underquilt, which is interesting, but it's advertised as kind of like the Swiss Army knife of suspension systems. You can do a lot of different unique things with it. You can attach it many different ways. You can attach it to your hammock in a few different ways. So that's going to take some getting used to, because it is a little bit different. But I mean,
is it comfortable?
I mean, is the underquilt comfortable?
Yeah.
I can't I can't feel the underquilt, but I'll tell you what I feel right now.
Warm.
Just massive amounts of heat. This thing has, what did this come in, 24 ounces?
Yeah.
So this is 24 ounces for the Revolt version 2. The version 1 that I have is like 19 ounces. And it's the same, like the same dimensions. So there's more down, and most likely more down in this.
And there's more suspension.
There's more suspension, more down, and it is warm, very warm. Yep. This might be a similar concept of trying to get temp ratings to more comfortability rather than survivability. That may be a case. So this may be more comfortable at 20 degrees. Like if I took the Revolt version 1 to 20 degrees, I would survive, but it would be cold. It would be cold. This is very warm right now. But the suspension system's a little bit different. I actually might have to test this on the Banyan to see how this would go on the Banyan. But it's beefier, it's bigger, it's thicker, it's warmer, and the suspension system's a little different. So time will tell, but I mean, I'm a cold sleeper, so the more warm I am, the better. So I like it.
All right, what do you think about this one?
I think that this is a cool idea. So the main difference between that I notice, just visually between the Uprising and the Revolt version 2, is this is more contoured to your body, so less surface area that it covers. So if you're someone that wants to like have as much underquilt coverage as possible while you're in the hammock, this is probably not the underquilt for you. It's a little bit more minimalistic, which is advertised to be like, that's the whole point. I like the idea a lot. It comes in at 18 ounces, which is awesome. It's got the same suspension system as the Revolt version 2, which, you know, I still got to figure it out and like, you know, take it out on some nights and get used to it. But I like the idea of a little bit more contoured underquilt to save some weight.
Way lighter, yeah.
Yeah, to save some weight. I generally, when I'm in a hammock, whether it's the Banyan, whether it's the Chameleon, I generally stay in like one zone. So as long as the underquilt's in that zone, I'm good. But I totally get the argument of like maybe not having to fuss with it and having an underquilt with a lot more coverage. You can just kind of get in, roll around wherever you want and make sure you're covered. But this is, I don't know, like we've never had like a minimalistic underquilt before. Or a slimmer underquilt, so I'm excited to try this just for the weight savings and see if I can stay warm enough. I mean, just like the Revolt, I'm burning up already.
So that is it. Just a really quick first look. We were just excited to get these things out.
I mean, like new products from EE, and everybody loves EE. So like, we're excited to give them a shot, and I can't wait to hit the trails with them.
And it sounds like Andy's a little bit more curious about this I thought you'd be Revel V2. Let's do this, but it sounds like you're interested in this Uprising thing.
I'm interested in the Uprising. Our next trip, which is coming up in a few weeks, I'm gonna take the Uprising.
We'll take both of these quilts with us.
Yeah, but I will say the Revolt V2, it like significantly warmer than the V1 and thicker, and it's got it.
The baffle design must help.
Baffles and probably more down. It is heavier. It's you know, my Revolt V1 comes in at 19 ounces. The V2 comes in at 24. So there's something to be said there.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up. Quick first look. We will put links to both of these quilts down in the description. Check out Enlightened Equipment. You know, we love supporting our cottage vendors, and they make really good products. So we are excited to try these out. We're gonna we have a couple trips lined up. We're gonna take these out, you know, so we'll be able to get some more experience. You know, this is not a review at all. This is just like, let's check out some cool new products. And that is it, and we'll see everybody on the next one.
See ya.